Yep. So now is time for our final discussion of the day, our hang jury segment. Earlier this year, a Brown University professor did something he'd never done in his 34 year of 40, I can't talk, 34 years of teaching. He gave his class a take-home exam. He did it out of compassion. And, there had just been, unfortunately, some campus violence at Brown University. His students were traumatized and he wanted to cut them some slack. Well, uh, over or just under half of the students, 40 of 86, scored a perfect 100. The class average was 96, and previous years, no one had ever gone above 80, and this exam was harder. And yeah, let's face it, this is Brown. It's freaking Ivy League. These are the best of the best, and they still make it hard.
Yes.
Then he made the final in person. Well, the average collapsed to 48. 27 students dropped the course. 22 of them had scored perfect 100s on the take-home test. The professor went public with his quote, and I love this: "We cannot choose to become idiots." Now the obvious reaction is those students cheated. And the story, thank you, OpenAI. But here's the uncomfortable counter. Nearly half of Harvard and Princeton seniors admit to doing the same thing. When it's that widespread, especially in the Ivy League, is this really a student character problem, or has higher education just completely failed to adapt to a world where AI exists, or both? Well, that is your hang jury, Patrice and Tom. Where do you land?
I love this one. I mean, I also picked it. It's an interesting question, right? Because on one hand, you can say, well, I mean, it's cheating, right? Clear. You're supposed to learn something and not use AI. But on the other hand, the reality is we're living in a world where AI is part of our job and it's part of what we need to learn how to use. And it's simply a reality that we have it. So maybe, and I'm strongly leaning on that side, maybe the way we've been doing things in the past is outdated. Doesn't mean that we now replace everything with AI and say we don't need anything anymore, we don't need to learn anything anymore. I think that's the wrong approach. But to say, how can we ensure that we learn the right things in a world where AI exists?
Yeah.
I think I agree with that take. I think education will have to adapt in some way. It's not unlike when calculators were introduced.
Yeah.
Cheap calculators. And
Which
I think
they considered them cheating back then too.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think I think people are going to have to learn how to use new technology like AI. It'll take some time. They will also maybe have to ramp up how they sort of replace the critical thinking that can get lost in AI, or introduce that into how to use AI.
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern. Using AI to me is fine. It's a tool. Use a tool.
Yep.
But if using that tool prevents students from learning critical thinking, I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because the point of an exam at school or a class at school is not to become an expert on that subject purely.
Yeah.
It's also to learn how to learn and learn how to do critical thinking and research and all those kinds of things.
Yep.
I mean, yes and no. I think the part, and I think the part of education that was, in my opinion, already broken because we have the internet, was you need to know, you would need to have this knowledge. I mean, ever since we've had libraries, ever since we've had the internet or computers, even we've had access to knowledge that was easier even with computers without the internet. Like we had CDs that you could just get anything you wanted. What was it called? Microsoft Encarta, I think, for example.
Encarta,
yeah. So I think that part of you need to learn all of that knowledge and you need to memorize everything, I think was already broken. It's just more broken now. But you're right. The critical thinking and the using the tool and comparing sources and whatever, which, as I said, we had to learn for the internet. I had to learn that when I grew up, right? How to use the sources I get from the internet and what to trust and what not to trust, right? Can I trust Wikipedia all the time? Back in the day, at first it was like Wikipedia is not a source, you cannot use it. That changed.
Yeah.
That changed. But what didn't change was you can use it as a source, but you have to, well, one, corroborate it maybe, and two, question it as well and say, like, where did Wikipedia get the information from and is it correct? Right? It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like everything else. It's not that different from the past. It's just moving much faster and it's
much
more complex. Because
Yeah.
even when I was a kid, you had to differentiate using critical thinking the difference between an article in the National Enquirer and an article in the New York Times.
True.
I mean, that's an extreme example.
Mm-hmm.
But also you had to understand, this is, this city's newspaper. Every big city had 3 or 4 newspapers. This one is a little bit liberal leaning. This one is a little bit conservative leaning. This one is, run by whatever, a religious group or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't mean they were good or bad. It's just that you had to understand.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of critical thinking of your source. Yeah.
Yeah. This one is the student. It's run by students. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. It's much harder these days, and it's so much easier to just relinquish the thinking and the doing to an AI and simply say, go do it.
Yeah, and I think the thing about using AI is if I just give a prompt, say, write a paper about the history of William Shakespeare.
Yeah, it will do
useless. You're not going to learn anything. Yeah.
No, but it will do it.
It's more of a, it'll do it. But if it's more of a, a companion or tool, and that's a good thing. You just need to teach students how to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we have 2 things at play that are diametrically opposed. College age adults are in a point of their life where they can adapt rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
However, education adapts very slowly.
Yes.
Case in point, when I was in high school, our computer class still had dual disk drive DOS machines in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, there's always been this discussion whether we are teaching for today or we teaching for 10 to 15 years ago. Yeah. And I think that has to be revisited and maybe not worry as much what the subject matter is as how to get to the subject matter in the modern day. Because I do not remember a lick how many history classes I had. However, I do remember how to retrieve that information should I ever need it again.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. The 7 times I had to learn the same history over and over and over. I don't remember any of it. It's true. I think, it's also in this case, I think it was very naive of that professor to think they wouldn't do that. Because there's 2 things. Ben, you mentioned it's an Ivy League school, right? So that doesn't just mean, oh, this is very good. No, it means there's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure to perform. It's very competitive, whatever. And the students are probably overwhelmed half of the time, I would imagine. I was even back in the day, and I wasn't in an Ivy League school. Sometimes there were days where I was completely overwhelmed with all the things I had to do, and not a lot of time. Plus, you're still very young. You probably also want to have some fun. You want to relax a little bit and enjoy also student life a little bit. And I'm gonna be honest. I think I would have done the same thing. I might have maybe not. I don't know. I might have probably done hopefully some work and improved it and edited what the AI had written. But I would have 100% used AI to do it. I'm gonna be honest. The script that we did today, that was AI with little augmentation from me. Right? So
and a little vibing for me.
exactly. I mean, it's also the other part, right? This is not a script that you read. This is a script that you interpret, basically, and you put in your own words and your own way.
Well, and I'm sure you didn't say, "Hey, Google AI, write me an intro," and walk away, right?
No, there were like 8, 10 different iterations until it was what I wanted, and like how I phrased it, and even then after that I edited some. So that's what I'm saying. But I would have used AI.
Yeah, I heard the guy from I think the guy from Grammarly talk about their use of AI and kind of differentiate between, sort of the push button, just give me what I want kind of use of AI versus how to use it as a tool and a companion, a writing tool, more like an editor.
Yeah. A lot of people are seeing that. A lot of people are seeing that with vibe coding these days. Like we have on InSpace, like there's a lot of people that are doing vibe coding, and there is a difference between the people that, and it's not a judgment. There's a difference between the people that have a technical development background and the people who don't. And it's not that you can't learn it. You totally can, and they can get as good. But you see the difference because the understanding of what's going on and the capability of getting the AI to do the thing you want in a somewhat efficient manner as well is simply not there. It's different. That people can 100% learn that. It just takes time. It's not free.
Yeah.
You can't just, what people think always, like with vibe coding and AI and whatever, it's like, okay, anybody from the street, I can give them an AI and say, and they can be like whatever, nuclear physicist. No, it's not how it works.
No, I agree.
Also CEOs that are saying that.
So here's the question for this poor Brown professor, given the situation that he was dealing with the the trauma that was going on at Brown.
Yeah.
My guess is we probably think he should have thought about a completely different way to do his final exam. Somehow.
Yes. Well, or instead of complaining about it after, I mean, he wanted to cut them some slack. So cut them some slack.
Pass them all.
Yeah. Be like, okay, hey, good for you. You did it in a way that, I mean, you fulfilled the requirements that I set out before.
That's true.
Whether you learned something or not, and that was what a lot of my professors said. It's like, whether you learn something or not is your responsibility at the end. You're an adult. You might be a young adult, but you're an adult. If you want to do the minimal effort and to get a grade or get a passable grade and learn absolutely nothing, then that's your problem, because that's going to come back and bite you in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your first job, probably it'll come back and bite you.
Yeah. So same thing here. If they want to do that, and as I said, they did I mean, apparently because they were perfect 100s, they did fulfill the requirements.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So I mean, I disagree with him. I mean, what was he expecting? And to be honest, he shouldn't even have done the in-person exam and be like, well, good for you. Yeah. I wanted to give you an out, and you took an out, and hey, okay, good for you.
Which begs the question: should this professor have learned something?
I hope he did.
Right. It's more about him learning something than the students, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, both.
I mean, but to be fair to the professor, he was faced with a pretty tough situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I mean, going to the students and having an honest discussion about that and saying, okay, I mean, good for you. You got your 100s, but have you thought about that? That would have been the right way.